obviously, how you have a pit in your stomach. I mean, I did watching these guys. How nerve-wracking is this?
It's exciting, right? I mean, they've worked, since the bowl game. Unfortunately for a couple guys, they were injured. So maybe even, with the rehab process before the bowl game, this is more of, I think, of an exhale for them. Like, it's finally over, especially the 40, right? They spend so much time training for that. Now they'll go do some shuttle work and position-specific drills, and they'll do great. They're all well prepared. They've been here. I mean, everybody, even if they didn't train here, they've been here the last couple of weeks, and it's been impressive to watch. I'm proud of them.
Clayton is not running the 40 today, I guess, since we didn't see him run.
Yeah, he's over there.
Is he going to run the 40?
I don't think so.
What do you think of his prospects right now? What are you hearing from scouts?
Well, I think his prospects are very high. I think the way he threw the ball down in Indianapolis was, I think a lot of organizations went wow. And you couple that with 53 starts and the success that he had while he was here. I think there's a ton of empirical data on him compared to maybe some of these other guys that you only have a handful of starts. That you maybe don't have as much info to make, who is he, what can he do?
Yep. Are you still hopeful, first or second round pick, or if that's possible?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I mean, I'd take him first. So, but that's my, that's why I was his coach. But at the end of the day, he's going to go to an organization that feels like he fits them. Mm-hmm. A guy who's a great leader, who's been through a lot, who's had great success, that I think understands what it means to compete. He had to do that to earn the job. It wasn't handed to him. And then a guy who's battled through a ton of adversity. I mean, you don't start 53 games and have the ebb and flow, the highs, the lows, the injury that he had to overcome without being a guy who I think has great confidence, great poise. And I don't think will be the moment, the pro game will not be above him. He will not be in awe of being in that locker room. He'll be ready to go. And I think, after talking to scouts, that's what jumped out to them in their interview process down at the Combine was just how mature he was. And, I'm sure he'll have an awesome career.
There are guys both this year and previous years who haven't had a lot of experience who get drafted high.
Sure.
Is experience always a benefit, do you think, if you're an NFL team looking down, or is some projectability enticing to you?
Well, yeah, I'd have to look at it from a recruiting standpoint, right? I wouldn't be excited about a guy who started 4 games, in high school. If you got a multi-year starter, again, you can see the ebb and flow, the good and the bad, and then you can see more of a product that you hopefully will be emulated when he gets to the next level. And, like I said, with Clayton, I mean, I don't think there's anything there's unknown. Everything is known. And if I were, a team getting ready to take a quarterback, I think that would help me sleep well at night. Is he going to be this? Is what you see is what you get. And is he just continues to focus on football and moves forward with his degree, he'll keep getting better.
What kind of feedback have you got on Flynn Nagel?
Well, a lot of people obviously love his route running. They love his toughness. They love that he's got easy hands, is what I've heard him be described as. And a guy that we did a lot with offensively, so he's got a lot of position flexibility inside and outside, and also, the punt return ability that he has. So he's a guy with a lot of upside.
Montre might not be testing great, but I mean, as a player, I assume you think he's very.
Well, I think he just changed that narrative right now. I had him 4.45. I don't know what everybody else had him as, but that'll eventually sneak out. Somebody will, I'm sure, say what the official time was based on today, but the unofficial Fitz time was 4.45. So we can feel free to put that out. But that's more what he is. We thought he was a 4, but he had a hamstring in the Iowa game, re-injured it in the Ohio State game. Isn't able then to get back for the bowl. Then he re-injures it at the East-West. He's really only been cleared to participate a very limited amount of time. He's been doing more rehab stuff. So, again, the position flexibility. A lot of people like him at corner. People like him at nickel. They see the physicality that he demonstrates. Could he maybe grow into a safety? I mean, I've heard all those things, or I've at least been asked all those things about him. So, not bad for a young man that we offered a scholarship to with our last scholarship a couple of years ago. So, very proud of his development.
Thorson is drafted. I believe he'd be the 3rd quarterback from Northwestern in 9 years.
Yeah.
What does that say about what's happening?
Well, Mick's done a great job. Number one, I think, in identifying the right fit from a quarterback coaching perspective. It starts with him. We go out and we evaluate each young man as much as we can. Just how critically important that position is. If you don't have one, you don't have a chance, right? That's the old saying. And we've been fortunate to have a bunch. And then, you're going to talk about Clayton, but Clayton makes me think of Matt Alviti, right? A guy that, stuck around, could have left. You know, in the era of, hey, I don't get the ball, I'm leaving. Here's a guy who stayed, and when we needed him the most a couple of years ago in a bowl game, wins us the game. You know, I think it's just not about those 3 guys that have been drafted. It'll be about that whole group, and I think Mick's done a terrific job identifying the guys, an outstanding job developing them, and then I think our offense showcases the skills that translate to the NFL. We're obviously doing things under center, in the gun, same route concepts. I mean, we study all the things and route progressions that the NFL does. Mick teaches it that way. I mean, the theme that I heard from everybody that Clayton interviewed with down at the Combine and then here, mature, high football IQ, confidence in his ability, understanding coverages, obviously understands the route progressions that he had to go through while he was here, and also understands there's more to learn, and he has an attitude of wanting to learn, where I think some guys feel like they're the finished product. So Mick's done a great job, and just really proud of those guys, you know, all of them that, you know, have gone on to play, and you know, I think Clayton's going to be next in line.
One of those guys, Mike Kafka's kind of become one of those names that people talk about in the NFL
So hot,
circles.
so hot. God, is he hot name, hot stove, right?
What do you think about that, though?
I think it's awesome. That's what it's all about, you know. I mean, it's amazing how hot you get when you win, right? And how cold you get when you lose. So, you know, I'd put some stock in those that work for Coach Reed. You know, I mean, you look at the success that he's had now in, you know, multiple organizations, and, you know, over time, you know, I'm not surprised. Michael's an outstanding father and husband and coach and developer of people. I'm really, really proud of him.
Sticking with quarterbacks, how's Hunter Johnson looking and the rest of your crew in the spring?
Great. You know, just like we have the other times we've had quarterback competitions, all 5 are getting equal reps. We kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the next day 2 goes to 1, 3 goes to 2, 1 goes to 5, and we just rotate it through. Everybody's getting equal reps until it kind of separates itself. Typically what's happened in the past is maybe a couple guys don't separate themselves above everybody else, a couple guys separate themselves below. Sure. That has not happened yet, and so we'll progress this week to see where things are at. We'll run the numbers that we look at metrics-wise, like we have in the past, and I think to Megan's point, we've been pretty accurate in our assessment on who our quarterbacks have been. So, but we got a lot of time. We won't walk out of spring probably with a starting quarterback named based on what I've seen. We're halfway through today, number 7. You know, we've still got a lot of work to do.
Do you get the impression from scouts that they really appreciate how far Clayton's come from that injury and just how he's put that all behind?
Yeah, it probably happened, I don't know, midway through the season when the scouts came back for the second time. You know, when they were through in August, we weren't able to tell him he was going to play in the opener because we didn't know. So 2 weeks out to the opener, when we were told he was cleared to play, and then, you know, the pitch count that we had to go through, that we kind of kept that private in-house. And then when they came back through, they were blown away at how well he had played coming off the injury that he had. And then to have to be brought back the way he was brought back, it wasn't like, you know, he came back and he had 100 reps. You know, he came back and he had 35 reps, and he had 45 reps, and like 60 reps. So it was tough to watch him go through it. But I think that just, again, shows you his ability to overcome adversity. And that's what you're going to face in this game, especially the quarterback position. You know, there's a ton of guys that think they can do it, and there's only a handful that are championship level. And, you know, his ability to get back off that injury and then lead us to a championship, I think, shows that he's got that type of pedigree.
For Jordan Thompson, what can you do between now and the draft to improve his stock?
I think he's going to bench today, so that's good to hear. So hopefully he'll put up a big number. I saw Tyler Lancaster here, probably to cheer him on. Gets a little bit of that Lanny, you know, and I'm going to go over 30. I have no idea what he's going to bench. But number one, he's got to get healthy. You know, he had surgery. They kept him out of the bowl game, and I think he's really close. We're going to have another pro day specifically for him later in April to give him a chance to train and showcase his skills on the field. But again, a lot like Clayton, a guy, and Nate and Flynn, all these guys, Montre, Jared, they all have great video. They all have a ton of tape. And so, you know, the way this has always been articulated to me by the NFL, the Senior Bowl, the East-West game, the NFLPA Bowl, the Combine, your pro day, I just named like 3. Those are all one-day, one-game evaluations. These guys all have 30-plus games to evaluate. So this is like game 31, 32, 33. So I hope they have good games today, so to speak. But there's a ton of empirical data on who they are as football players. And, you know, all these guys have had amazing careers, and we're incredibly, incredibly proud of them.
How much more efficient has everything been today? First time in this building with everyone here and so forth?
Oh, and in the Ryan Fieldhouse and Walter Athletic Center? Yeah, well, it's we were able to invite guests for the first time, so family and friends were able to be here. You know, in Treaton's Hall, there just wasn't enough room, as you all remember. We were over in a corner. You know, we had to watch out for flying balls. So things have changed, obviously, exponentially, and we're very thankful for that. I'm excited for our guys to be able to have their families here, too, you know, if they choose to do that. But the scouts haven't complained, so I'm not surprised.
Anything else?
Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Go Cats. Have a great day.